Younger People and Classic Mercedes Revisited. So in about a month and a half, I'm going to be 36, which officially puts me in the category of like a middle-aged adult, I think. I mean, that's my definition. 30 to 35 is like your real transition into adulthood. And then from 36, there's no looking back. You can't pretend that you're a quote-unquote young adult anymore, you know. Although God has still continued to bless me with very few gray hairs, whereas like a lot of Lebanese people start to gray by this age. So I'm thankful for that. Anyway, I was reading the video about younger people being into Classic Mercedes, and I was looking at I got a lot of comments in these videos. I know there were some editing issues with these videos, and I know that there were a couple of problems with the videos, getting them uploaded and everything. But I appreciate those of you who are patient and watched all of the video all the way through and looked at the positives and stuff. So thank you so much. I have to do a couple of house cleaning things before I jump into this topic. So the first one is that on October 17th, we're having a car show in the Villages. It's the Villages German car show. If you would like to register your Mercedes, please get in touch with me for details about this event. I'm going to make a separate PSA about it, but I really want to see people registering for this event. We need 100 cars on the field. Number two, a few weeks ago in a live stream, I made a comment about Mercedes Benz finances. And so apparently this upset a friend of mine who was responsible for getting MBCA out of a big financial issue, you know, I'd say about 5 years ago. So I have to watch my mouth sometimes because I get so frustrated. But what initially led me to making that comment was the fact that I do a lot of work for the MBCA, and of course, like, this club has done a lot for me over the years too. I mean, without it, arguably, this business would not be as successful. But I complained without really thinking about the consequences. So MBCA's finances for now are in good shape. It's just that we need people to join our club so that we can make it into a great car club. I can't do much without members, and most of the members that are left only seem to be interested in new cars. So I'm not saying that like our finances are perfect. I'm not saying that they're awful, but I'm saying that we're okay for now, but we could use some help down the road. And that help is going to come in the form of new members and of course people working at the grassroots level to make this a great club. I just don't want anybody to be mad at me because I'm not trying to like fracture our car club or anything. I want it to succeed. You know, sometimes I get a little bit carried away with my opinion. So anyway, all right, so I want to look at this topic of young people being interested in classic cars, because this is something that I think a lot of people in our car club and a lot of people who manage classic car magazines like Sports Car Market tend to worry about. They worry about younger people being interested in the hobby. So regardless of like how amped up the lifestyle is about classic cars and classic Mercedes and stuff like that, it is still not a majority hobby. It's not something that everybody engages in. Like people that have normal hobbies, let's face it, I was on a Zoom call a few weeks ago for something that has nothing to do with Mercedes, and the majority of people, young or old, have extremely vanilla hobbies. Their hobbies include going to the beach, going to the gym, going to restaurants, going shopping. Classic cars appeal to a type of person, not an age bracket. So if you're an older member of a car club and you're watching this, I want you to remember that statement. They appeal to a personality type and not a age bracket. It's not an age thing. It's not something that's going to die with the next generation. It's not something that, now the other thing too is that there are people that are going to be interested in cars, period. A lot of men are interested in cars. A lot of men are interested in fast, new cars. This has always been the case. That's why you saw Chevrolet selling millions of large displacement cars in the 60s and 70s and sort of the 80s, sort of. But you didn't see people lining up around the corner to buy 240Ds and 220Ds. However, there was still that type of person that appreciated frugality, reliability, and dependability and serviceability over, I push my foot to the floor and the car goes sideways. People who like performance cars are always going to be in the majority of the car hobby. That's just what they're going to like. You know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I like going fast too. I like my speed served out to me in different ways. Like I like to go fast in a vintage car, like a 450 SEL 6.9. You know, it's way more exciting to toss around 300 horsepower with no driver aids than 600 horsepower with a car that does everything for you. Just letting you know, you know. But the truth is that based on this video, it seems like the people that commented, also, by the way, I had a ton of comments. I had like 60 comments on this thing or more. The comment feed from this video shows that A, classic Mercedes are really popular in other countries where people have a lower standard of living. So maybe we have too much in this country. I don't know. I think that our standard of living in the United States is actually out of control, personally. I do, but might as well enjoy it while we have it, but it's still a little out of control. Number two, people, I think younger people in other countries are forced to rely on their brains, not necessarily, okay, and their hands, instead of having everything done for them. I mean, the average American millennial, let's face it, they are spoiled rotten. They need to go camp out in the Sahara and survive for a few years by themselves. And then last, I think that they're happy to have any car. So I know that there have been cases where American parents have bought, oh, maybe my son or daughter will like this vintage Mercedes. They're not going to appreciate the damn car. Get them a car like all their friends have. And then, you know, if you want a vintage Mercedes, get one and get them to help you with it. You know, when I was a child, I just want you guys to know this. When I was a child, I had to work in the family business. That's why I'm not a spoiled, entitled person who doesn't mind driving a 35-year-old car with faded paint and 386,000 miles. Because when I had always been expected to contribute to my family and to the business. And when I was not in school and studying, I didn't play sports. I didn't hang out with my friends. I worked my butt off. And really, that's the kind of work ethic that breeds affection and appreciation for a classic Mercedes, you know. So, yeah, I think the long story short here is young people who are intelligent and different are into these cars. And if you're looking to build your car club, they are your target demographic. You know, it doesn't mean that they have to be rich or poor. They could be from whatever background they're from. It's just their parents have to instill some values into them, and those values roughly translate into an appreciation for mechanical things, not just because they're fast or glitzy or glamorous. Okay, so I want to wrap this video up by saying thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, and thank you to those of you that have subscribed. We're almost at 20,000. Get me to 20. So for the 63% of you who are watching these videos and not subscribing, come on, can like some of you like hit the subscribe button so I can get to 20,000? Then maybe, you know, people will start taking these cars seriously, and I won't see so many of them on you know, eBay being parted out. And in the meantime, please comment, like, and share. Tap the bell for notifications. Leave a comment below, and I appreciate all of your comments from the from my video with Jack, and I appreciate you, Jack, for driving all the way down here just to be interviewed. If any of you want to be interviewed in the future, my door's always open. Just .com, and our doors will be open to you.